Und in der Sache sind wir uns mit allen einig.
The Chancellor stressed that Kyiv requires strong and lasting security guarantees if it is to defend itself against ongoing Russian aggression. He outlined what he described as a broad approach resting on several pillars. The most important, he said, is the permanent strengthening of Ukraine's armed forces, not only through military hardware but also sustainable financing and intensive training. Merz emphasized that both France and Germany share responsibility for this mission, but he made clear that Germany in particular carries a big responsibility, one that he said will remain unchanged. His comments underscored Berlin's determination to continue backing Ukraine militarily and financially as the war drags on. Merz also addressed the prospects for peace talks, saying it has become increasingly clear that Russian President Vladimir Putin is unwilling to meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskiy. He pointed to what he called downright unacceptable preconditions being set by Moscow, contrasting them with the more conciliatory tone Putin reportedly used in a phone call with U.S. President Donald Trump just a week earlier. For Merz, this inconsistency is part of Putin's wider strategy, one aimed at dividing Western allies while avoiding serious negotiations with Kyiv. His remarks suggested little optimism that a breakthrough in diplomacy is near, reinforcing the argument that Europe must prepare for a long conflict. On the subject of defense industry cooperation, Merz stressed that Germany and France will continue to work closely together even in areas where progress is difficult. He confirmed that their defense ministers will meet in the coming weeks to determine next steps for two major joint projects, the Future Combat Air System, FCAS, and the Main Ground Combat System, NGCS. Both programs are considered crucial for Europe's future military capabilities, and Merz said he wanted decisions on them soon. His comments signaled that despite past tensions over timelines and costs, Berlin and Paris remain committed to moving forward together on these ambitious projects. The Chancellor then shifted focus to economic sovereignty and Europe's relationship with the United States. He revealed that he had already told President Trump directly that the European Union's regulation of digital markets and taxation of major technology companies is a matter of EU sovereignty. Merz insisted that Europe would not allow itself to be pressured or threatened with punitive measures in this area. His warning followed Trump's announcement earlier in the week that Washington would impose new tariffs on countries that introduce digital taxes or regulations targeting American firms. Merz's comments reflected growing European determination to stand firm against U.S. trade threats while defending its own digital agenda. Finally, Merz addressed Germany's domestic economic situation. He acknowledged that the country must undertake urgent reforms in labor markets, economic policy, and approval procedures if it is to remain competitive. He pointed to a recent meeting with more than 60 representatives of German industry, where companies pledged to invest over 600 billion euros in the next 3 years and to open new production sites in Germany. While he welcomed this commitment, Merz warned that the attractiveness of Germany as an investment destination depends heavily on improving framework conditions. Without such reforms, he said, the country risks losing out on opportunities in a global race for innovation and capital.